So the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster just dropped today and it's on everything. It's on PS5, it's on Xbox, it's on PC, it's on Game Pass, Steam, it's everywhere. So, you can pick your favorite platform. But in today's video, as the title would suggest, we're over on a PS5 Pro and the game actually got a PS5 Pro enhancement mode. So I'm going to be showing you some of the comparisons between the two different modes in the game. I'm going to be showing you just how the game runs on a PS5 Pro and giving my gripes and the things I like about the game. So before I talk about the game, I want to say that I will always have what graphical mode I'm on in the top left of the screen. So if you guys want to know, what mode I'm playing on, you can, change it to that yourself or just for general information. The first thing I want to talk about is just the difference. The original was made back in 2006 on the original Creation engine, which is Bethesda's in-house studios engine, and the new one, obviously the remake, which is made in 2025, is made on UE5, Unreal Engine 5. And the difference is insane. Bethesda did a live stream earlier, which you can go back and watch, but I'll show up some, videos now of it. The difference is insane. It is actually crazy. One of my biggest gripes about the original is how it looked. Now, obviously, gameplay, how it looks, really doesn't correlate that much, but you guys, people watching, and even the fans of Oblivion can admit that the graphics was a little bad, especially, it being such an old game and that kind of stuff. It's just natural that it's going to look bad to people now because we've seen such good looking games, with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Skyrim, the remaster, mods on PC for Skyrim. But I just want to say this game is really good looking. And I've only played about like 40-50 minutes of the game so far, and the open world is insane as well. But let me get into the thing that everyone's probably watching this video for. What does it look like and how does it run on a PS5 Pro? Well, there's two different modes that you can choose from. There's fidelity and then there's performance. Fidelity runs at 30 FPS and performance runs at 60. Now for graphical differences, I really can't tell the difference. I am going to have a side-by-side comparison up on the screen now for everyone to look at, but just me remembering and me switching between the two, I really couldn't tell the difference, to be honest with you. Both of them looked really good, except one ran at 60 and the other one ran at 30, which, in my personal opinion, I'd rather run it at 60 than 30. Now, for image quality, this is really hard to tell because I don't have a side-by-side comparison and I don't have a software to tell me what it's running at that time. So I don't really know. But if I had to assume, it's probably running at 1080p on the performance mode, and over on quality, it's running a dynamic resolution, which means that it's changing between 1440p, 1080p, and 4K, and that's depending on the scene and how demanding the graphics are. But like I said, I truly don't know because I don't have a software to tell me. So now I get into some of the stuff that I found wrong with the game. But like I said, I only have about 40-50 minutes into the game, so I don't have a lot of information about how it's going to go forward or stuff later in the game, how it looks. But just based off that time, I did find a couple things that were bugs or something wrong with the game. So the first one was a lighting bug that came with when I was making my character. There was a little bit of a flicker on the side of his arm when I was making my character, which isn't a big deal, but I do want to talk about it. And then the next major thing, which is really the only two, the next major thing is every time you go into a door and you spawn in, your camera meshes with your character and creates a weird image and messes up the environment and that kind of stuff. But it's not really a big deal. Like I said, I only have 40-50 minutes into the game, so I don't know all the issues within it, but just off of those two, it's not really a big deal. It's just something that I wanted to mention. So my conclusion of the game on a PS5 Pro is that it runs really well, it plays really well, and it looks really good. Now, I don't think there's going to be a big difference between the PS5 Pro and the Series X, but there's probably going to be little lighting things that are better on the Pro, or The frame rate might be better in one scenario than the X. There's going to be some differences, but the differences aren't major. The major differences are going to be over on PC, where you can, crank up the ray tracing, crank up the illumination, and crank up all the settings. Like, that's where the big difference is going to be at. But it does play really well on a PS5 Pro. But as always, let me know down in the comments what you're playing this on and how you're liking it so far. And until next time, peace.